Hey buddies, Matt with Bandit Prospecting. Welcome back. We are back out on the Secret Creek today. I wanted to hit that honey hole one more time before I left town. The gold putz is here again. He's hiding behind the tree over there. He's camera shy. He doesn't like his face to be seen on the, well, maybe somebody else's videos. Anyway, we're going to work this spot. I brought the high banker down, hopefully run through material faster. So let's do this. Let's find some gold. So this is how I have the high banker set up today. I have it set at a low pitch so that I can load the material in and let the water break apart that clay. Now yes, it's not gonna, the water is not gonna break apart completely, so I'm gonna have to get in there with my hands and break that stuff up, but it's gonna be much easier than what I was doing before, putting it in the classifier and then breaking it up by hand that way. Gold Putz has his setup down there. He's got his gold gutter set up. That's his classifier, and he's working this spot right in here. He found some decent gold in there the other day, and I did find, I don't know if you can see, probably can't see that tree right there. That's a dang apple tree. So we might have to go down there and pick a few apples, see if they taste any good. So that might be a snack here in a little bit. Again, same stuff. We're digging in this crunchy clay stuff and breaking it apart. And normally I wouldn't think a whole lot about it, but after all the gold I found the other day, I know it's definitely going to work to do that. I did bring gloves today. I sliced my finger open last time on a piece of glass that was caught in that clay. So I brought gloves with me today, so hopefully it'll be a little easier on the fingers. So I've ran a few shovels through the high banker now, and I'm starting to get away from the bank a little bit. So I'm going to run a test pan out here. Just to see if this stuff's any good. Now this clay's a lot thicker. It doesn't have all the material in it that the other clay does. You got to break the clay up. I'm going to do it under the water here. Yeah, this is not the same clay. It's over closer to the bank. This stuff does have a little bit of particulate in it. But it's mainly pretty solid. The classifier I brought was, I've got it under my pump down there. Yeah, some of that stuff's the same, not much. Okay, there I've got it broken up pretty good. So you want to be sure all that clay is broken up. Let out anything that might be stuck in there. Hopefully gold. Look, right there. Can you guys see that? There's a coin, a dime. That's pretty cool. That dang black sand again. Oh yeah. Man, oh man. All right, can you guys see that? Just out of that test pan, that's the gold I found. Just out of that one pan. Yeah, I'd say it's still pretty decent here. All right, guys, I am on something here. Look at this. Pulled out a wine. Oh, I'm sorry. That is a top of a tequila bottle. Top of a tequila bottle. And then look in here. You see that? Right there? I just threw this in there. That's a quarter. Well, so far this spot has paid off 36 cents for me. Can we get a date on this one? 1981. 1981. This is interesting. I found a piece of pottery a little bit ago. I'll have to, at the end here, I'll have to show you guys everything I pull out of here. Yeah. Gotta get all the gold out of there, right? So I just wanted to take a little time real quick and kind of explain how I picked this particular area to prospect. Right here in the picture, there's a red star, kind of where I was prospecting. And this is a pretty good depiction of the area. It wasn't quite as pronounced here on this corner, but it's still pretty good. So the water is coming from the left to the right in the creek, and this arrow kind of shows how the water flows. It was staying more towards, as you can see here, the upper side of the creek, and it was deeper over in this area than it was over here. And when I was running a test pan, I just kind of picked this area, and as I was running a test pan, I noticed that the silt, the dirt, the mud that was coming out of the pan was traveling back upstream. It was not traveling downstream. So I looked some more, and then I noticed that there was a swirl pattern in the water. And this more kind of depicts how the water was flowing. It was coming down this edge and then circling around and then coming on this side. That would explain how there were deposits on this side of the creek and maybe not so much this side. Anyway, this is how I picked this area. Yeah, I did run a test pan and found good gold, but I also noticed the water pattern and noticed how it was swirling like this, and I could totally see how that would happen even more pronounced when it was a high water event or the water was moving fast. So that kind of explains this area where I was prospecting and how this area ended up being pretty good for gold. I didn't turn the camera back on for a while. I did a cleanup a little while ago. Still looked amazing. And I completely cleaned everything up out of it. And I kept running test pans, and it was still looking great. So Gold Putz is down there. He was working for a while. He found a spot that was sand deep down, and so he dug it, and he was, he said, hey, I'm finding good gold. So I dug deeper where I was, and sure enough, I hit a sand layer. But our sand layers were completely different. The sand layer where I was digging is compressed, it's compact, and I feel like I have to scrape the sand to get it out. His is like sugar sand. You scoop it, and I mean, it's right there. You don't have to work hard for it. but there's gold in both of them. So battery just died on the high banker. So now I'm going to clean this stuff up. Can't run the high banker anymore, unfortunately. But I think I'm going to be very pleased with the results of running the high banker. So if you can see this big rock right here, just in front of it, right here, that's the hole I was digging in. Where I was finding the coins and stuff was right out in here. So I dug that for a while, and I stopped running that, and then I moved over here and started running this stuff. So now that I'm done, I'm going to clean this up, get the high banker cleaned up, get it put away and ready to take home. I need to get holes filled in. This is that big rock. I pulled it out of there. So I need to get rocks back in the hole, get that filled up so nobody else steps into it. And then Gold Putz, he had to leave. He had stuff to do this afternoon, so he gave me the go-ahead to go down and dig some of that sand down there. So I think I'm going to do that for a little bit until I get tired, just nice and casual, run some of that and see how I do down there. Oh yeah, one more thing. I said there were apples on that tree down there, and then I come over to this side and I see this tree here, and it's got some fruit on it. You see that? It's got a little fruit on it. So I picked one of those, and not knowing what it was, I squeezed it, and well, it ended up being a plum. It's a plum. So then I was like, oh well, those are plums down there. Well, I ate a couple of these plums here, and the rind on them is a little bitter, but the inside tastes amazing. And then later I went down there. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go get me one of those big plums. If this is a plum tree, I'm sure that's a plum tree. So I'm gonna go try that. So I walked down there. Sure enough, no, it is an apple tree. Little apples about I don't know, about the size of a dollar coin, something like that. And yeah, sat there and ate apples for a little bit. So man, we got gold, we got snacks, all in one creek. So yeah, can't beat a day like that, right? All right, buddies, I was gonna try to get some footage of the clean out, but my high banker was in the shade, and I couldn't get a good picture. So what this is the top mat, the top carpet. The very top mat is a rubber mat, and that had a lot of plus size stuff in it. But this is the top carpet mat, and then kind of the junk that was left behind in the high banker that kind of scooted by everything. There's two pieces right there. Okay, that's not as good as what I've seen. That's not as good as what I have been seeing. Again, all the concentrates are going in the bucket. We're gonna take them home, and then once we get home, we're gonna do another video on all the cleanouts from the days. I worked yesterday. Yesterday I went to Arapahoe Bar. That was my second time there. Did pretty good. Found some good gold, but I didn't want to film yesterday. I just didn't really feel like it, and I just wanted a nice quiet day to run some material and find some gold. So came back here today to run this spot again. So when I do that clean out video, there will be 3 buckets of concentrates, and that one is from the Arapahoe Bar where I went yesterday. I think now I'm gonna go down and dig some of that sand that Gold Putz was on, at least one bucket, and speed pan that bag, just see what I can find in there. He was perfectly fine with me going down there, so I'll run a little bit of that, and then I'll make the trek back up to the truck. So okay, so I went ahead and dug almost a buck, about 2/3 of a bucket from that hole of the sand that that Gold Putz was digging. And this is the result of that. Not the best gold we've seen all day, but I mean, how can you complain about that? That's still a decent amount of gold right there. I'll take it. I'll take it. Okay, so I told you I'd show you the goofy stuff that I found. I dug that spot for a while and then ended up moving on. Here's some of the glass I pulled out, broken glass. I did pick up some decaying quartz. I'd like to take that home and crush it, just see if there's any gold in it, just interested. This is the top of a tequila bottle. It's broken off in there. Here is a piece of pottery with some print on it. Thought that was very interesting. Hard to tell, might be from a bowl, but it'd be on the inside of a bowl. This, I'm not real sure what this is. It kind of looks like a fingernail file, but it's sharpened on this end. It's squared off on that end, but it's sharpened on this end. You can tell. So I don't know if they used to make fingernail files like that with sharp on one end, but it is corrugated like a file would be. And then here are 2 pennies. Those are just clad pennies. All this stuff is just clad. There's 3 dimes and 2 quarters. The 2 quarters are 1980, 1981. The 2 of the dimes are like 1988. One of them's like 1990. And then one of the pennies is 2007. And then I couldn't get a date on that one. It's corroded enough I couldn't see. So anyway, just interesting to be digging a stream for gold, and you find a lot of interesting stuff too. So just thought I'd share that also. Well, that's going to put a wrap on this trip to Colorado. I had a lot of fun. Pretty sure I found a lot of gold. We'll figure that out when we get the cleanups done back at home. But again, the place is beautiful. Scenery is amazing. The creeks, the access, can't be beat. So I appreciate you joining me. Hopefully you'll come back and watch my cleanup videos, see just how much gold I found. Again, I have 3 buckets that I need to clean out. 2 from this special creek here, the Secret Creek, and then 1 from Arapahoe Bar that I worked yesterday. So, like always, I appreciate you joining me. Hope you come back again. If you haven't already, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe. Also, turn on the notification bell. That way, YouTube will let you know the next time I put out one of my adventures. Hopefully, you'll come back and see me again. As always, be safe and heavy pans.